The Apprentice 2024. I've just got back from seeing this film. It was a previous screening. It's a film I was looking forward to seeing. It covers a certain presidential candidate during the 1970s and 1980s. It's a biographical drama and shows this particular individual's relationship with his mentors of that time. There was Roy Cohen, played by Jeremy Strong. The main protagonist of the film is played by Sebastian Stan. I love a scene early on that also appears in the trailer where he goes up to an intercom to get buzzed in, and when he says his name, the reply comes in, Donald who? And if only that was still true now. He wasn't such a well-known person and notorious person, and there was so much risk of him becoming president all over again. All the threats, the Project 2025, which really is scary. The whole thing, I don't understand how any women or marginalised group would consider voting for him with the risks that I mentioned. Today's the 17th of October. It's 19 days until the 5th of November when the general election, presidential election in the USA. So in 3 weeks' time, we may know, of course, the tactics, the strategy that learns of Roy is explained in detail from when they first meet, the early or mid 70s. It's around the time that President Nixon is about to face the consequences of the Watergate scandal. So it feels like the narrative arc is very cleverly placed. I mean, considering the similarities there and the mentions in the Reagan era when there was apparently a slogan, "Make America Great Again." I have heard that before, that it was used in the Reagan era. Most of us have collectively forgotten about it. Now, the acting in this is marvellous. Sebastian Stan does an incredible job, and he does look like the younger, didn't want to use his name at all, President 45, as I used to call him back then. We learn a lot about how his parents were, how his father was kind of pretty cruel. He's very disparaging until later on. His father said that he was like a glorified bus driver of the skies. I may read up a bit to find out about the truth of the situation, the real estate business, and his mother. It all gives a feeling of ick as far as I'm concerned. It's a sort of film that I felt I really needed to watch, wanted to watch, and yet spending 2 hours staring at someone like that, looking at the trajectory as he moved into the type of person he became by 2015, 2016, when he became a presidential candidate. Back in the 80s, it came up as a subject that would he consider being a politician? There's a lot that comes up. There's real estate business, building the tower in Manhattan close to Grand Central Station, and all the tax breaks that he manipulated people for. According to this film, again, I will read up. I would like to know the full truth behind it, but it's very interesting seeing how it plays out in this film. It was like Roy Cohn takes him under his wing as such, seems to take a shine to him early on, and teaches him the sort of method of always being on attack, never conceding victory, playing the person, or well, as they say it, playing the man, ad hominem. Just as much, I would guess, he will attack Kamala Harris. He was taught to win by any means necessary, and that comes across in the trailer, but you get to see all the details. It was really fascinating watching how he wooed Ivana. He doesn't treat her very, very nicely at all. I mean, he does at the start, of course, but there's some awful stuff. If enough is based on reality, I find it surprising that Ivana stayed with him as long as she did. Wow. It's watching a slow motion car crash. That's a cliche and it's often applied, but it feels like there's a lot of tactics, there's a lot of strategy that he learned and used to win and win against anyone, regardless of who they were, whether it was New York mayors, anyone in charge of taxis. From there onwards, I mean, you can see how he became the kind of person that we've all got to know, especially from the time he became president in 2017 through till when he was ousted in 2021. Whether there's another episode coming up, I hope not. But that's the future, that's what we don't know. And if I was an American citizen, I would be voting for Kamala Harris, but I'm not. I'm quite glad we had a Labour victory here compared to what we had before, but there's still a lot of problems. I would score this 8.75. It's fascinating to watch. It is brilliantly acted. It's delivered with panache, although there were times that felt slightly low energy. I'd love to know what you think. Please like if you like this video. Please ring the bell. Thanks for subscribing if you subscribe. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye for now.